stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very good. Good. Where are the speeches? No, where are the speeches? Not out here. Okay.
Is this on? So we left the binder with the speechers in my office. It's coming, so we have a little pause here until that comes out. I know, it has to be something. We'll be with you in just a moment.
I was like, I'm not about to freeze.
Thank you for your patience.
I was told it was put under Vice President.
Oh, jeez. Okay, let's just make sure.
Right there.
Beautiful.
All right. Hello and good morning. My name is Paige Como. I'm Vice President of the senior class, and I'm honored to be the first to welcome you to Gardner High's Class of 2022 graduation ceremony. Recently, I've taken a moment to reflect upon a poem I read earlier this year. The poem, by Emily Dickinson, touches upon the subject of success. She writes that success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. Despite my love for Dickinson, as a poet and a feminist, just this once, I must contradict her. This period of our lives, this celebration today, it is a time of success, and that is why we must count it sweetest. To all of the family members and the friends out in the stands, you have helped us grow and learn and become the people that we are. I could not have done this without my family. To every single one of you, this is a success. Count it sweetest. To the staff members, to the teachers and the counselors, and every wonderful human being who has aided us in our educational journey. Without you all, we would not have made it here. For you, this is a success. Count it sweetest. Finally, to all of us, this day has been long awaited. Days upon weeks, upon months, upon years of hard work and tenacity have led you to this final celebration. Us especially, we should be proud because today is a success and we deserve to count it sweetest. Essentially, what I'm trying to say in a long-winded, waxing poetic sort of way is welcome. Welcome to a day of happiness and excitement. Welcome to a day of celebration. Welcome to a day we will remember for the rest of our lives. Welcome to a day you should count sweetest because you have done it. You have succeeded. Thank you. Hello. I am the treasurer of the class of 2022, and I'm here to present the class gifts to the president of the class of 2023, Mackenzie LeBlanc. As the class of 2022, we present the funds to repair the grand baby piano in the Landry Auditorium, as well as $1,000 to the class of 2023 to kickstart their senior activities of next year.
And on behalf of the class of 2023, I would like to accept that gift.
Good morning, peers, teachers, administrators, families, and friends. My name is Rebecca Cormier, and I'm honored to be addressing you all today as the Gardner High Class of 2022's Valedictorian. First and foremost, I would like to congratulate every single one of you, my peers. These past few years have been unpredictable, yet you still overcame them to reach this point. I would like to thank the staff and administration that has been with us throughout our high school journey. I thank you for working every day to provide us students with an education. In the face of confusion and stress, you took charge and created some certainty within the uncertain, from helping us transition into high school, to learning how to work Zoom, to adjusting back to in-person teaching. Through it all, you guys gave us your best in order for us to keep gaining knowledge. I would also like to thank the parents and guardians, family, friends, and those friends who are basically family, who supported us along the way. Because of all of you, we are now at the point in which we are able to walk across this very stage. You believed in us when it felt like the world was against us. So again, thank you. High school. Freshman year. Classes were too long, homework was stupid, school was overrated. Sophomore year. Surprise, classes were still too long, homework was still stupid, school seemed a bit overrated still, But hey, an unexpected 2-week vacation in March, that's cool. Spring break came early. Spoiler, we did not return 2 weeks later. Junior year, opening up Zoom every morning to a class of faceless peers, cameras off, mics muted, teachers saying, "Can you guys hear me okay?" Many of us found ourselves wondering when we could return to the previously dreaded school day we were used to. And even when we did go back for hybrid learning, it still wasn't the same. The faceless peers were now half-faceless peers who could only smile with their eyes, seats were mostly empty, and only air hugs were acceptable. We still miss what we thought we had hated in the past. I would have liked to go back in time to let freshman and sophomore Becca in on a secret from her not-so-distant future. This school thing, maybe not so overrated at all. Senior year, the first day of school, we were finally back in the building full-time. A sense of a normal education had returned. We were once again surrounded by friends, laughing, talking, enjoying each other's company. We had taken this all for granted. Our former lack of gratitude made complete sense, because it is so easy to take things for granted that are present in our everyday lives. I believe many people, including myself, become grateful for things only after we have lost them. For example, the isolation brought upon us by the pandemic led me to miss things I did not realize I could miss. Seeing my friends in the hallway for the quick smile and wave. Small talk with teachers and peers waiting for the bell to ring. Lunch with my friends. The company of others in general. I now have a newfound appreciation for smaller, not so monumental moments like these. But at what cost did it take to gain this gratitude? A pandemic, the loss of socialization, loneliness? Those should not be the reasons for a growing appreciation of what one has lost. Loss should never be the reason for anyone to gain thankfulness for what they have. I encourage you, as you go out into this unforeseeable world, remember to remind yourself to be grateful for the seemingly small happenings around you, what you have, what you were able to do, and what opportunities are presented to you. We have learned that seeing a smile, shaking a hand, hugging a friend or family member, or something like getting to attend your own graduation may be taken away in a matter of seconds in a drastically changing world. Not only do we need to show a greater appreciation for the sometimes unrecognizable gifts given to us, but we also need to take action to ensure that those same gifts don't disappear under a pile of complacency. The world has many flaws. Many times it is not kind nor rewarding. It breaks us down piece by piece. We face difficulties, small and big. To be honest, writing this speech was difficult. I had to look to friends for support, advice, even help. The willingness others had to reassure me against my own self-doubt, as well as aid me in compiling my sporadic thoughts into sentences, proves to me how truly caring and determined my peers are. I have full confidence that the class of 2022, whom I have had the honor of growing up with and watching blossom into extraordinary human beings, will achieve amazing things and bring greatness into this world. So once again, thank you to everyone who has shaped us into who we are today. And to my peers, I'm proud of you. Be proud of yourself. Use that pride to inspire not only yourself to achieve great accomplishments, but to inspire others as well. I'm going to take my own advice and just for a moment, think about how lucky I am to be with you all today. I'm honored to be a part of this class and will forever be truly grateful I got to spend the last few years beside you guys. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alex Lucier, and I'm excited to address you today as Salutatorian of the Gardner High School class of 2022. Before I begin, I'd like to take a moment of gratitude. First, to my classmates. Guys, we did it. I know how hard each and every one of us has worked to be here. This year spared no shortage of sweat and tears, and there was certainly some blood involved at one point or another. However, it was worth it, and it's pretty safe to say we had fun too. Next, to our teachers and staff. An amazing part of high school is access to an entire building of teachers to work with. With this, we have the gift of finding at least one, and most times many more staff members that we can truly connect with. These invaluable people shape our high school experience and beyond, and we are incredibly lucky to have them. And to our families, not just immediate family, but to all of the grandparents, cousins, friends, coaches, pets, teachers, and other people who have helped us get here. As Gabby Gonzalez reflected during our baccalaureate event, we are each the result of many generations before us. Even more, we are the result of the people here with us today. To all of you, we are incredibly grateful. Now, as I look back on my high school experience, some common themes have stuck out. Treat others how you want to be treated, be yourself, and always work hard. I found these to be true for me, and I'm certain as an 18-year-old almost high school graduate can be, that these will get you very far in life. However, today I pose a challenge, a piece of advice fairly similar to the few I listed above, but with the addition of an immense power inside of it. Before I get to it, I need to share a bit of background. The quote itself comes from R. Buckminster Fuller, an American architect who, interestingly, was born in Milton, Massachusetts, and was expelled from Harvard not once, but twice. More importantly, this quote was first introduced to me through the late Virgil Abloh, a polymath architect known for leaving an incomprehensible impact on the worlds of fashion, design, and music, but most importantly, left a brilliant vision of equality for our country, taking momentous steps to see it through. The quote is as follows: "All systems operate in the way that they were designed." Okay, nice. It's pretty simple. It's a little mechanical-ish, and it might be a bit wordy, but I believe it contains a forceful message. First, let's look at Virgil's take. To him, Fuller's words are a reminder to live consciously. Virgil both literally and figuratively designed the world that he wanted to live in, starting with the most basic household items, working up to reimagining the future of equal education in the arts. By maintaining an awareness of the world around him and taking an active role in it, Virgil Abloh designed the system to produce the future he desired for himself, his community, and generations to come. Now today, most of us haven't reshaped the world we live in yet. However, in a way, being the architects and designers of our own worlds is what high school has been all about. We choose classes we want to learn more about, try out for sports teams, clubs, and activities we want to succeed at, stand up and volunteer for causes that we care about, and make new friends that we want to be a little bit more like. There it is. I promise you this isn't an irrational idea at all. You have the power to change the path that will determine your future. We've already started our blueprint through high school, focusing on the vision of who we want to become. So, congratulations. Today's celebration is a result of 4 years of designing who we are today. Proud high school graduates, destined for a successful next step in life. As we leave here today, remember the power that you have. Choose to surround yourself with people who challenge you, and hold on to the things that make you, you. If something isn't right, change it. Reimagine, take control, design a new path. After all, as the legendary hip-hop artist Nas so fittingly put it, the world is yours. Thank you.
Good morning. Greetings to our faculty and staff, family, friends, Mr. Mayor, school committee members, city councilors, distinguished guests, and of course, the phenomenal class of 2022. Let's give them another round of applause. I'm always thrilled to be a part of these celebrations, and I take a lot of time thinking of what to say, because this is the last time I actually get to address this class as students, as high school students, next step graduates. So I always think long and hard about what to say. And right now, I know you're graduating at an exciting time, but it's also a little crazy. We have problems in this country: gun violence, racial injustice, political upheaval, climate change, the list goes on. My original intention was to write this speech to ask you all to be leaders. Leaders who know the facts, leaders who strive to do the right thing, and ultimately create followers who try to do the same. But as I contemplated these issues, I realized that it's next to impossible to change others' minds today. Just take a look at Twitter, Facebook, Reddit. A 2010 study by a man named Nathaniel DeWall and some of his associates used neural imaging where they looked at the brain, and it showed that the area of the brain that actually causes physical pain is activated when you're proven wrong. That's a huge hurdle to overcome, especially when you're trying to convince someone in a comment battle on Facebook. While I was thinking about this, I I saw it. I saw that idiotic message on so many coffees that I buy. Caution, contents hot. Well, yeah, it's hot. While the joke ran through my head, I remembered the story of how that message actually got there. It was 1992. There was a news story about a woman who won a $2.7 million lawsuit because she spilled hot coffee on herself. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you spill hot coffee on yourself. You get burned. Be more careful, klutz. That's the initial reaction of most people, including me. Now, when I first heard this, I immediately quipped that I should go to Burger King, get a cup of coffee, and spill it on myself and become an instant millionaire. I heard jokes about this woman on late-night TV. Episodes of Seinfeld were devoted to the notion that people were ridiculous when it came to lawsuits. News reports made the woman who won this suit look like a greedy, money-grubbing, conniving snake who won more than $1 million for being an uncoordinated idiot. And I believed all of that until during this pandemic, I don't know if you all did this, but I binge watched things. And one of the things I binge watched was Adam Ruins Everything. And in season 1, there was this episode 24 was about our justice system. And he talked about the woman who actually won this lawsuit. And some of you already know this. Her name was Miss Stella LeBeck. She was 79 years old. She was sitting in a parked car with a cup of McDonald's coffee in her lap. She spilled the coffee on herself, but the coffee wasn't heated at the same temperature that your Keurig makes. It was 190 degrees. Spilling this coffee on you instantly burns you. It's said that they kept it so hot to make you drink less coffee so they wouldn't have to do as many free refills. Now, most coffee is served at about 160 degrees, which would give you time to react and brush off the coffee before you actually got burned. Well, more than 700 people reported that they had severe burns from spilling McDonald's coffee on themselves that year. This woman's burns were so severe that she went into shock and almost died. At the hospital, the doctors actually had to perform a skin graft. Ms. Lilac went to McDonald's and asked for $20,000. She wasn't trying to sue them. She just wanted her medical bills paid for. They gave her $800. She took them to court and won. McDonald's originally was asked to pay out $2.7 million, which they do have the money. It's the equivalent of 2 days of coffee sales. In the end, Ms. LeBeck settled for less than $600,000. This accident almost took her life. She took on a huge corporation and won, saving many other people from very avoidable severe burns. But the ridicule she endured was really unfathomable. Corporate lawyers spread a disinformation campaign to say that there were too many frivolous lawsuits, which just wasn't true. She became a punchline. So after watching this episode, I realized that your superintendent, around this issue at least, has been a fool since '92. I was fooled. I believed this narrative for more than 25 years before learning that Miss LeBeck is actually really a hero. Those corporate lawyers shaped my view of the world through the media, and that was antiquated media. Yeah, I had a TV and a radio. It's very different now. Now corporations front companies like Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse. Check it out, it's real. They run fake protests, put things on social media, run advertisements, all to sway our opinion. It's still the same tactic, but it's 1,000,000 times more frequent in today's digital world. But why is this important? What does this have to do with graduating? What does this have to do with our graduates going out into the world? Well, it's important because many of us only think about the fact that companies look to influence the shampoo we buy or the type of car that you think is cool. They do that. But there are forces. Yes, there are actually forces at work here. Forces from the left, right, center, up, down, left, right, every which way. These forces don't pay billions to sway your personal views on the best potato chips. They pay billions to sway millions of minds just a little bit. They're trying to sway you just a little bit. And once they move you just a little bit in their direction, they target you. They inundate you with information, and that continues to push and pull you in that direction. They affirm the views you've already adopted, and I say this as a victim. I was misinformed for over 25 years. It was a highly effective campaign. And these tactics have made social media a divisive tool. Social media was supposed to bring us together. Well, instead it's tearing us apart. It's tearing this country apart. So this is what I want you to remember. When you click the bait and hear the short soundbite, these forces are trying to impact your beliefs, and they don't have your best interests in mind. This is insidious. It's what makes me realize that it's more important for you to be aware and resilient than to be a powerful leader of changing others. So when you hear the soundbite, think of who paid for it. What is their motive for creating it? Is it credible? Question and dig for the facts before you embrace a belief. And please question and dig before you broadcast a belief on any platform. Your beliefs are important because, as Gandhi said, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits, and your habits become your values, and your values become your destiny. So when it comes to facing the barrage of messages you will receive every waking hour every day, remember the words of my favorite hero one of my favorite heroes from Harry Potter series, Alistair Moody: constant vigilance. Because frankly, you are our future. And as Princess Leia said, you're also our only hope. That's a paraphrase. Class of 2022, be vigilant, be brave, be kind, and remember that you're a wildcat forever. Thank you.
The mind is an amazing thing. It starts working the minute you are born and works constantly until the moment you get up to give a speech. Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriela Gonzalez, and I am immensely grateful for the opportunity to speak to you today. And I am especially grateful for the wonderful opportunity and privilege that I've had to serve this wonderful class as class president. In our discussions as a class leadership, we have often described this class as a reservoir of talent. And the truth is, it isn't untapped or underutilized at all. For the past 5 years, many of our students have been in Gardner High School since 8th grade. They have used their minds, their athletic achievements, their artistic aptitudes to serve our wonderful community. They've also used their phenomenal humor. And they make their school and community proud. When my family moved to Gardner nearly 7 years ago, something I took notice of very quickly was the history and loyalty this city carries. You can't help but assume the spirit of this community, as well as a newfound enthusiasm for chairs. Woo, Chair City! I have had the privilege of meeting wonderfully spirited individuals who have built the foundation of this city with their bare hands. They have invested so much honor into our schools and our streets and our businesses and our homes. It is the lives of these Gardner citizens that have inspired such a wonderful tradition of community and generosity in our beautiful city. It is easy to see that our city is beloved in many ways. However, the culture of our neighborhoods is not limited by the bounds of our city limits. In reality, it overflows like streams of light unto all it touches. Today, energetic, passionate, empowered youth embark on the journey of a lifetime, carrying with them the brightness of our home. I will forever be indebted to this city because it is here in Gardner that I have found love, I have found knowledge, I have found purpose, I found new learning, and I found friends. I am proud to be graduating high school with such a fantastic and well-deserving special group. I would like my friends and peers to know that it has been a privilege to serve as class president. And I am proud of the people that they have become, as well as the strength that they carry and the things that they have overcame. In conclusion, I think I've said this wonderful city 100 times, but it's true. And it has cared for many of us in ways that we could never describe. And today's graduation provides another wonderful testament to its legacy. Thank you.
Good morning. You know, the irony with forgetting the binder with the speeches in it is yesterday when I was working with the student speakers in my office, we review the speech and practice a little bit. They're all like, oh, we don't need to print it. We can just do it off of our phones. And I'm like, no, we're going to print the speeches and put them in the binder. So joke's on me. I should have listened to them. I couldn't imagine doing a speech off my phone. So good morning, everyone, and welcome. For those of you who might not know me, I'm Paula Bolger, the very proud principal of Gardner High School. It's wonderful to look out at all the family and friends, teachers and staff, administrators, school committee members, the mayor, and other dignitaries, all who came out to support the class of 2022. I do want to start by thanking a few folks for their hard work putting this event together. Julie Campbell from our main office, who is the brains behind the operation, works tirelessly with all the details and takes care of everything. Thank you to Patty Flynn, Abby Pinio, Deb LeBlanc, who have worked alongside Mrs. LeBlanc with all the graduation preparations, Doug Lepisto, who somehow by default still helps with organizing the graduation ceremonies every year and keeps things running smoothly, Wayne Anderson, our facilities director, and his crew for getting the school ready for this special event, which is no small task. Demetrius Tyros is here all morning helping set up. Thank you to our custodial staff, who also helped with the setup, our senior class advisors, Mrs. Miller and Mrs. Kemp, our awesome guidance staff, who have been working with our students right up until the very end to get them ready for their senior year. That's been an easier task with some of you than others, but it doesn't matter. You're all sitting here right now. I also want to recognize Mrs. Gelinas and Mr. Connery, our two assistant principals, Mr. Tenney, our special education administrator. Those are three folks who are totally committed to our school and all of our students, and I know they are as proud as I am right now for all of our graduating seniors today. And of course, a big shout out to the Gardner High School teachers and staff. The work of our teachers and staff that they put into educating our students is truly praiseworthy. It's been a bit of a wild ride these last few years for everyone, students and staff, but without our teachers holding strong and making sure our classrooms run effectively, we would not be able to keep things moving forward. So for that, we are all very thankful. Okay, those are my thank yous. The students are like, when is she going to start talking about us? What can I tell you about this class? Class of 2022. I guess I will start by saying, what a great bunch of kids. Seriously, they're a smaller group than we usually have, but they make up for it in spirit. They're good to each other. They're just happy to be here, graduating, having somewhat of a normal senior year, following the rules, and doing what they have to do. Speaking of following the rules, I happened to be out of the building on the seniors' last official day of school when they do their traditional drive around the building, honking their horns, lap after lap. I was looking at some of the video afterwards, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, are they seriously stopping at the stop sign in the middle of the parking lot on each lap? But they were. Honestly, it was great. I was like, oh my goodness, they are so darn cute. One quick story that I do want to share about one of my experiences this year was my experience going on the senior class hike up Mount Wachusett. I think there was probably about half the class that attended. It was a beautiful day. We arrived at the base of the mountain. We all started up the mountain together. And now there were kids with a full range of abilities. Some had never hiked before. Some had hiked many times. It was challenging for some, maybe not so much for others. But in the end, even though we might be going at different speeds, maybe took slightly different routes up, all the trails lead to the top of the mountain. And eventually, we all met at the top of the mountain. Of course, we were supposed to have pizza at the top of the mountain. And then we realized that the road wasn't open yet. So Mrs. Kemp couldn't drive the pizza up. So I had to tell them at the top of the mountain, hey, the good news is we picked up the pizza. The bad news is you need to hike back down the mountain to get it. They were a little disappointed, but they took it like troopers. Minimal complaining, at least to me. So we were all at the top of the mountain, and like I said, all trails eventually lead to the same spot at the top of the mountain. But coming down the mountain, that's a little different. So we gathered them at the top of the mountain, and I said, okay, in order to get to where the bus is parked, we need to all take one of these two trails. The other trails lead to different places, so make sure you all stay together and stay on these two trails. Everyone understand? Yes, Mrs. Bolger. Yes, 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 we know, we know. Okay. I think you know where this is going. So we all start the hike down. I'm taking a nice leisurely walk with a small group, bringing up the rear, having a great time, nice conversations, enjoying the outdoors, and eventually we get to the bottom. Now I know that we're the last group coming down, which was perfectly fine. Then we start counting kids at the bottom of the mountain. And we're missing probably 12 or so. And where are they? Yup, spread out all over the base of the mountain. And I mean spread out. Like some of them were 3 miles away from where the bus was. So we say to the kids that were down by the bus, start calling them, let's find them, and let's figure it out. So out come the cell phones. You know, where are you? I don't know. We're on a trail. We're by a big rock. We're by a big tree. Can you find a paved road? Do you see any trail signs? Do you see any street signs? They're pinning each other on their phones. I don't even really know what that means. But the kids were like, we found them. They're 3.2 miles away from us right now. So we were kind of laughing. It was kind of funny. It was a little stressful. The bus drivers needed to get back to do bus routes. But what I saw was a group of kids working together, communicating with each other, and relying on each other. They took different paths for different reasons, maybe intentionally, maybe not. Some were definitely lost. But in the end, they all found each other. They counted on each other, they helped each other out, and they figured it out. Sounds a bit like life to me. You will eventually all choose your own paths. You will all inevitably have some struggles along the way. Sometimes you may actually feel pretty lost. Seek help when you need it, and be that person others can rely on. I have no doubt you can all find success in whatever path you choose, and eventually, in good time, you will all figure it out. And don't forget to have some fun along the way. And if you plan to have pizza delivered to the top of Mount Wachusett, make sure you call ahead to make sure the road's open for the season. So, graduates, as you take your own paths into your post-high school life, whatever that may be, work, college, military, whatever, be proud of your accomplishments, work hard, be kind, have fun, and keep being you. And know that I am proud of each and every one of you. Thank you. I do have one more quick thing to say. This is my favorite thing to say. Mayor Nicholson and Superintendent Pellegrino, pursuant to the Gardner Public Schools graduation guidelines and the Massachusetts general law, I hereby certify that all the students before you have met all requirements for graduation. Thank you.
Good morning. President Gonzalez, class officers, Dr. Pellegrino, Representatives Lotnick, members of the school committee, Vice Chair Jennifer Palavin, Mrs. Hurst, and Mr. Schwartz, City Council President Elizabeth Kaczynskis, City Councilors Alec Dernalowitz, Judy Mack, and Dana Heath, Student Representative to the Gardner School Committee, Gino DeVito, administration and faculty of Gardner High School, family, friends, honored guests, and most importantly today, the class of 2022. I'd like to start by recognizing all of our students who, after receiving their diplomas today, will be going off to serve our country in the military. I'd ask those students to right now please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your willingness to serve and protect us all in this great nation. Class of 2022. As the mayor of this city and the chair of its school committee, on behalf of the 21,000 residents of the city, I'd like to congratulate you on getting here today. And on a personal note, I'd like to extend that congratulations in a very special way. You see, many of you I've known for quite some time, either through your involvement in community events, civic engagement, and I even had some of you in class during my brief time as a substitute teacher at Elm Street School. And you can see the growth, the perseverance, and determination that you've had since you began as students in Gardner Public Schools. Over the past 2 years, you've likely constantly been told sayings along the lines of, you're going through something the world hasn't seen in over 100 years. These are truly unprecedented times, and you just have to persevere and push through it. And other sayings like this related to the changes your class saw as a result of the pandemic. You've likely heard these sayings so much that they've likely probably started to become cliche at times. Just random things that people say that come up so often you don't even recognize it, and it's just like white noise in the background. But even if just for today, while you're out here on this field, think of those sayings for a second and how they relate to the journey that you're completing today and the one that you're about to start. You see, far too often things become so familiar to us that we forget how special things truly are. We let ourselves get so wrapped up in the here and now moments that we forget to reflect back and take in the big picture that's taking shape around us. Let's use your time here at Gardner High for an example. When you started here at Gardner High School in the fall of 2017 as 8th graders, did you ever expect to experience everything that you have? Or how about when you started in our school system in 2009? When you started in our schools, you likely didn't realize the changes that were taking place because the world was going through the Great Recession. Budgets were tight, programs were up in the air, but you went to school and you just did what you had to do like any other kindergartner would. And without realizing it, you kept that trend going as you grew older. Your 6th grade year, you were the first class to enter Gardner Middle School, with a class younger than you joining you for the first time in its doors. You had to take on the role of both new student and role model for those 5th grade students who were underneath you. But you did what you had to do, you went with it, and you set the example. You entered high school in 2017 after only 2 years of middle school, while most students have a little extra time to prepare themselves for the transitions that high school brings. But you dealt with that change head on, and you just did it. Your sophomore and junior years were struck by a global pandemic. Your classes transitioned to Zoom, activities were either canceled or moved to virtual or remote formats, and life in general was just different. But through it all, you persevered. Then most importantly, you started your senior years in the quote, new normal. You set the example for other students in the grades below you of how things went at Gardner High School in a normal year, even though you really only had your 8th grade and freshman years to set that example from. But instead of focusing on what could have been viewed as the losses you had, you focus on giving the underclassmen the best experiences that they could have by turning something that could have been viewed as a loss into something that you viewed as an opportunity to show people how impactful high school experiences could really be. Now, whenever I speak in public, I try to stay away from quoting others. But while I was reading the Gardner News this week, one of your classmates said something that I feel deserves repeating. A lot of us have traditions that are important to us, and we wanted them to experience what we wished we could have done over the past 2 years. We have a tight class, and it's been a lot of the same kids I've known since kindergarten. It's always been the same group. We all support each other. We all have older and younger siblings that go to school, so this was about more than just getting through high school. It was about making the best of the situation, and we all share that same passion. Now, when your student council president, Alex Lucier, said this to Mr. Landry from the Gardner News, I'm sure he didn't expect it quoted here at graduation, but I want you to take that sentiment with you, and I hope that's the sentiment you take and comes to mind when you think back on your time here as a student in Gardner. Your unprecedented times didn't begin with the pandemic. They began the moment you started your scholastic career. But in every single instance, you took whatever situations you were handed, ran with it, and set the example for others to follow. Not only were you students, but you were your own teachers. You were role models for those who were younger than you, and those who needed to see that it would be okay when they got the chance to stand in your own shoes, and you succeeded. In order to solidify this, I'd like to ask you to share in an exercise that one of my former professors did with me once. And as silly as it may sound, I'd like you to participate while you're here in this moment as one of your last acts as a Gardner High School student before you cross this stage and enter into the next chapter of your lives. Close your eyes and think back to the first day that you were at Gardner High School. You walked in the door and looked around and took it all in. You saw people, Mrs. Bulger, Mrs. Jelinas, Mr. Connery, the teachers, faculty, and staff. You saw other students, the seniors, juniors, and sophomores, the captain of the sports team, the drum major or section leader of the band, someone who was in a club that you wanted to join, some people who seemed really involved, or maybe some that just stood by their lockers and got through. Now open your eyes. Did you see someone or a group of people? Did you get even a small glimpse into the excitement and nervousness you may have felt not knowing what would happen that year, but at the same time the willingness to embrace and take it all in as a new high school student? Now here's the magic of it all. If next year when I give this address and I ask the class of 2023 these same questions and these same scenarios, they'll see you. You may not have realized it, but you made impacts on the people you went to school with each and every day. Not only just at Gardner High School, but at Gardner Middle School, Holy Family Academy, Elm Street School, Waterford Street School, and every moment from the day you first put that backpack over your shoulders, took that first day of school picture on your front lawn, got ready, and went to school. And what's the best part of this all? You get to do it all over again in the next chapter of your lives. No matter if you're going to college, entering the workforce, joining the military, or wherever life takes you, there'll be someone else now looking at you to set the example. Remember how resilient you've been in those moments, how you face adversity, how you set the example for others already, because there are already too many people in this world looking for help and guidance who need people like you to show them how to get things done. Sometimes we even need that reminder for ourselves. As you begin this next chapter in your lives and you go out into the world, you will continue to face challenges. But just like you've done from the start, face them head on because you've already shown that you can. Assignments will still be hard, breakups will still feel like the end of the world, job searches will be tough, morning classes will be hard to wake up for, your boss can and will likely be a pain at some point. And sometimes what you thought was a dream scenario could actually turn into a nightmare. But keep your head high in these challenges because you've already proven to everyone who's here that you're strong enough to handle them. And no one can tell you who you are or what you're worth but yourself. Far too many people tell us that success can only be obtained by following certain steps. But if you don't do something you're truly passionate about that your heart just isn't in, is it really worth doing? Instead of letting other people tell you what to do and what drives you, find what makes you you, what makes you motivated, and what makes that special impact in your life. Don't let anyone tell you that the items listed in your resume define who you are. It's your drive, your passion, your attitude, and you who define you. Don't let anyone tell you that a challenge is synonymous to failure, because in reality, it's growth. If you go to school or get a job first, and you find out that you're in the perfect program at the perfect school, or you have the career that you love doing, we'll be proud of you. If you find out that you need a break or a change in your career, end up in a different major or a different school entirely, we're still equally as proud of you, because through all these cases you stayed true to yourself, and that is what makes us proud, is that you found who you are. So go write that book, paint that picture, discover new medical frontiers, open a restaurant, practice your musical skills, teach students how to dance, coach an athletic team, run for office, and be yourself. But if that's what makes your heart sing and makes you feel happy, do it, because that's way more important than any job title you'll ever have or any paycheck that you'll ever get. Among you are future doctors, lawyers, scientists, engineers, colonels, policymakers, government officials, photographers, athletes, and more. I even get the pleasure of working with one of you as my intern over the upcoming summer. And no matter what you do and where you go or end up after today, we'll always be proud of you, and we'll always be your biggest cheerleader. Para los estudiantes quien, como yo, vinieron de familias que migraron a este país, aprendieron un nuevo idioma, tomaron nuevas ocupaciones e hicieron esta ciudad su nuevo hogar. Nunca olvides los sacrificios que tus seres queridos hicieron que te llevaron a esta ceremonia. Verte aquí hoy, celebrando tus logros, muestra que todos sus sacrificios valieron la pena. Al seguir adelante, recuerdo sus historias y recuerdos quién sois. Now, as you walk across this stage, you'll become alumni of Gardner High School. But that doesn't mean you have to leave us behind. Gardner is now and will always be your home. We'll always be proud of you, no matter what you do, where you end up, and you're always welcome back home. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless. Now comes the time we've all been waiting for. I'd like to invite Dr. Pellegrino, Mrs. Bulger, Mrs. Gelinas, and Mr. Connery back up to the stage for the official awarding of the diplomas.
Nope, right over here.
You don't go until I say your name, okay? You come right up to here. I gotta wait for the line to kind of kick it off.
Presenting the class of 2022. Gabriela Roseli Gonzalez. Olivia Marie Charette. Rebecca Marie Cormier. Allie
Esther Aguilar Palma. Michaela Lynn Albert. Christian Omar Alicer Feliciano. Trinity Nicole Arsenault. Emma Vaughn Ashmore. Anthony Paul Astuccio. Miguel Eduardo Iola and Veronica Jaden Barton. Paige Jeanette Como. Lily Rose Como. Alexander James Lucier. Charles Quinn Thomas Bassett. Sean Christopher Bastine. Scythe Morpheus Berghammer. Amber Lynn Byron. Brianna Fosua Boateng. Madison Shea Botwell. Katrina Marie Bro. Elijah Daniel Bunce. Paul Christopher Salona. You got this. Hannah Lynn Christian. Taylor Marie Cordio. Alexander Corral. Hunter Darren Curley. Elijah J. Daly. Jason Connor Davis. Emma Carolyn Desereau. Gino Raymond Enzo DeVito. Kyle Irie Donahue. Ryan James Dumas. Calum Bruce Dunn. Christian Javon Dupree Landry. Jeremiah Joseph Francor. Owen Michael Francor. Hannah Elizabeth Gibson. Devin Rose Goryet. Ryan Eric Gray. Lucas Scott Harris. Javon Dean Heath. Emma Leanne Hernandez. Madison Brooke Hewer. Jonah Hannigan Hoisington. Kai Lee James.
Vincent Orion Kostjowick. Arianas Leboy Torres. Jameson Philip LaLiberty. Madison Sarah Lashua. Aaron Michael LeBlanc. Sierra Sky LeBlanc. Shannon Marie LeClaire. Quinton Stanley Peter Lemick. Stephen Ryan Lemieux. Janalee Elaine Lisboa. Gracie Lynn Lukanen. Madison Grace Margraf. Leilani Christina Markley. Gabriel Michael Marlin. Nevaeh Lee McGivern. Tyler Joseph Montiero. Declan Aaron James Montgomery. Jenna Nicole Motion. Morel Mua. Anthony John Murchison. Maxwell Keegan Murphy. Isabella Lee Murray. Daniel Tobias Noble. Luke Reynolds O'Connor.
I'm gonna pass out. I promise. You're gonna say my name? I'm gonna pass out.
Santino Donald O'Keefe. Victoria Dorothy Parker. Maya Jane Patel. Jillian Schuyler Paulus. Freddie Peralta. Joao Pyrus. Mark Joseph Poirier. Bona Prack. Tyler Matthew Pratt. Deegan Terrence Reedy. Shaylee Rodriguez. Janaya Shiley Rodriguez Pierce. Nina Roche Tomashvili. Emily Teresa Russo. I just want to say Adam Sandler. Abigail Elizabeth Sainer. Carter Matthew Santos. Evan James Scanlon. Nathan Tyler Shackelford. Emily Grace Schaus. Surya Karthik Raja Sundamurthy. Irani Murad Tafal. Xavier Alejandro Tejada. Devin Thomas. Cody James Tom. Kevin Toro. Luis Omar Vega. Damali Taylor Waugh. Brett Lawrence Worcester.
Principal Mayor, do we have ours? Oh, yes, let's go. Okay, I was so afraid I wasn't gonna